my name is Katie, and this is an introduction to cake decorating video. We're going to go over a couple of basic skills and techniques that you need to know before you start cake decorating. The first one is your cake surface. If you're using a cake board like this one, you want to cover it in tin foil first. This is because the lard that you use in the frosting seeps out of the cake and onto your cake surface. And if you don't have it covered with tin foil, you can see it in the cardboard. So you want to make sure that your surface is covered. If you're using a cake container, it is not necessary to cover your surface because that isn't made of cardboard. Once you have your cake surface covered in aluminum foil, it's time to dye your frosting. So here I have my frosting, and you can use whatever type of dye you would like. I have many different types here. I believe these are a gel bought in the supermarket, and these are specifically icing color dye. Now there's a couple things you need to know about dyeing your frosting. First of all, it's very, very difficult to get any deep colors. It requires a lot of dye itself. And when you want to get a deep color, you want to be careful not to make the dye prominent when you eat the frosting. You don't want to be able to taste it. As well, it's extremely difficult to make black or red frosting because those are extremely deep colors. Most of the time you get a gray or a dark pink color. To go around this problem, there are two solutions you can have. First of all, choose a different color for your cake. Or second, if you dye in small amounts, for example, if you don't want an entire cake to be red, but you just want one small flower to be red, it is more likely that you'll be able to get the deep color that you want. Once you have your frosting dyed to the color that you want, it's time to put the frosting into your decorating bags. Now there's two types of decorating bags that we're going to go over. The first one is a featherweight bag. These bags are not disposable, and they're able to be purchased in any local craft store, like a Michael's or a Joann's or something like that. The second type is a disposable decorating bag, which again can be purchased at your local craft store. And the third type is a Ziploc bag. Now, all these work kind of similar. When you want to use a disposable decorating bag, you need to have something called a coupler. And a coupler looks like this. It comes in two parts, the part that goes inside the bag and the part that goes outside the bag. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your coupler into your decorating bag. This would work the same for a featherweight bag as well. Your bag should be 10 inches, that's a good size. And once you put your coupler inside the bag, you're going to cut at the base of these ridges that they have, remove the coupler, and then snip the tip of the bag. And then you'll see when you snip this tip off, your coupler is going to stick out a little bit. As you can see here, my tip is already cut, so I would just stick the coupler inside, and then it's be ready to go. Now you're going to take your tip, once you have your coupler inside, and place it on top of the coupler, like this. And the second piece of the coupler goes over the tip, and it screws in to those ridges that we have, the grooves, just like this. And it tightens down, and now you're ready to go. So this is how you set this one up. Now, once you have your bag set up with whatever tip you want, it's time to put your frosting inside. So I just fold down the top of the bag like this. This prevents the very top to get messy And you just take your frosting that you want and you insert it into your bag, like this. And then you fold up the top and you push your frosting to the base, right like this. You want to fill up your bag about halfway or 3/4 of the way. If you get closer to the top, it's extremely difficult to frost because you have very little control over the tip. However, if you don't fill up enough, for instance, if you only fill up a little bit, it's extremely difficult to get the right amount of pressure on the frosting to get it out through the tip. So right about halfway, and you're all set. Your featherweight bag would be set up exactly like this bag. For your Ziploc bag, it's a little different. You don't necessarily need to have a tip, although you could have one if you wanted to. And for this one, you fold down your bag again. You fill it up the same amount as you would a decorating bag. And once you have some frosting in there, you fold it back up and you push your frosting to one corner of the bag, the corner that you want to work out of. So, you push all the frosting in this corner, and once you have your frosting all there and your air out, you can zip up the top of the bag, and this prevents any extra frosting to fall out of the bag. It's a little bit neater of a technique. And once you have your frosting, you would just snip off the tip of the corner, and there you go, and you can decorate. This technique is more for writing, and you don't get all the designs with the tips, because with these you can use different tips and get different designs. With this, it's pretty much a circle design, and however, that's still a good way to decorate. The last thing we're going to go over real quick is adding more frosting to your bag. So let's say you're frosting a cake, and you get down to only a little bit of frosting left, and you need to add more frosting to your bag. So say you only have this much left and you want to add some more. You're going to go around the same technique by adding more frosting. It's going to be really messy probably, but... So you're going to add more frosting to the top of your bag. However, the important thing to note when you do this is you need to go through a technique called burping your bag. So you added your more frosting to the top, and you push it down. You can't completely close off the air at the top, or otherwise the frosting won't be pushed down, because the excess air in between the old frosting and the new frosting won't be able to escape. So you need to leave a little bit of space at the top for the air to escape. And once you have your old frosting, your new frosting on top of your old frosting, there are going to be air bubbles within them, and you'll be able to see them when you're actually doing the technique. And you want to get these air bubbles out. So you want to try to work your frosting so that all the air bubbles are out. Because if you're going through your technique or you're putting on your flowers and you hit an air bubble, obviously nothing will come out. And it could screw up your technique or your flower that you're making or your writing. So you want to burp your bag, which is letting all your air bubbles out between your new frosting that you added to your old frosting.